Wir freuen uns natürlich sehr, dass Gayatri Spivak die Einladung zu dieser Mosse Lecture angenommen hat. Ich möchte sie Ihnen jetzt ganz kurz vorstellen. Sie ist, wie Sie wissen, Professorin für Comparative Literature an der Columbia University in New York und gilt als eine der Mitbegründerinnen und wichtigsten Protagonistinnen der Postcolonial Studies. Immer wieder hat sie darauf hingewiesen, dass damit mit den Postcolonial Studies kein einheitliches Gebiet sozialer, politischer oder kultureller Phänomene bezeichnet ist, sondern dass es darum geht, die Heterogenität der postkolonialen Realitäten in den Blick zu nehmen und dabei auch neokoloniale Machtverhältnisse in die Reflexion einzubeziehen. Vor einigen Wochen hat der Historiker Sebastian Konrad hier in der ersten Mosse Lecture zu unserer Serie Europa im Blick der anderen unter anderem über eine Reihe von Narrativen gesprochen, die sich in Bezug auf die Frage einer Positionierung Europas in der Globalgeschichte ausmachen lassen. Dabei hat er darauf aufmerksam gemacht, dass das postkolonial geprägte Narrativ eines europäischen Kulturimperialismus die Dynamik allein auf Seiten Europas verorte und damit eine dichotome Sicht auf die Kolonisatoren einerseits und die Kolonisierten andererseits verstärke. Gayatri Spivak hat immer wieder an dieser Problematik gearbeitet. Sie hat die in Begriffen wie die Kolonisierten hergestellte Kohärenz kritisiert und dagegen den Begriff der Subalternen aufgenommen, der es ermöglichen soll, heterogene, marginalisierte Subjektpositionen zu beschreiben. In diesem Sinne hat die in Gramsci verwendet. Die Subalternen bezogen auf jene Gruppen der italienischen Klassengesellschaft, die der Hegemonie der herrschenden Klassen unterworfen waren und sich nicht wie etwa die Arbeiterbewegung als politisches Subjekt konstituierten. Gayatri Spivak hat mit enormer Resonanz dazu beigetragen, dieses Konzept der Subalternen in den postkolonialen Diskurs einzutragen und damit entscheidende Perspektiven für die Arbeit an der Repräsentation minorisierter Gruppen, an ihrer sprachlichen, kulturellen und politischen Repräsentation und an den Bedingungen ihrer Artikulation geöffnet. Eine Arbeit, die sie heute Abend in ihrem Vortrag fortsetzen wird, der sich explizit mit Europa und vor allem mit seinen Rändern auseinandersetzen wird. Eine besonders starke Rezeption, auch in Deutschland, haben ihre Überlegungen zur Verbindung von Dekonstruktion und Feminismus erfahren, die auf die Analyse einer Gendered Subalternity zielen und dabei einen westlichen Feminismus kritisieren, der mit universalem Anspruch auftritt und sich seiner eigenen Strukturen des Othering nicht bewusst ist. Diese Überlegungen haben sich vor allem auch in den hiesigen Gender Studies durchgesetzt. Ich denke, es ist nicht zu viel gesagt, dass dahinter nicht mehr zurückgefallen werden kann. Parallel dazu und ähnlich produktiv provozierend ist Gayatri Spivaks kritische Befragung der universalisierten Menschenrechte in ihrer Schrift Righting Wrongs, Unrecht richten, 2008 auf Deutsch erschienen, die unter anderem nach den Mechanismen und Strategien einer Vergabe von Menschenrechten fragt. Einige oder auch viele von Ihnen werden den Gesprächsband Sprache, Politik, Zugehörigkeit, 2007 erschienen, zwischen Gayatri Spivak und Judith Butler kennen. Zudem sind auf Deutsch weitere wichtige Bände und Aufsätze erschienen, wenn auch vieles noch auf Übersetzung wartet. Einiges davon nennt die Auswahlbibliografie im Programm der heutigen Veranstaltung. Neben dem Band Can the Subaltern Speak? Postkolonialität und subalterne Artikulation, auf Deutsch 2008 erschienen, möchte ich den gerade in zweiter Auflage auf Deutsch erschienenen Band Imperative zur Neuerfindung des Planeten 2013 nennen, in dem das Projekt eines Denkens des anderen fortgesetzt wird, in dem den sogenannten globalen Akteuren sogenannte planetische Subjekte gegenübergestellt werden. Das heißt, ein Entwurf gewagt wird, der auf die Idee und Realität der Globalisierung mit dem verantwortlichen Einbeziehen von Alterität antworten will, die nicht von einer stabilen Position des eigenen aus gedacht wird. Diese Herausforderung setzt Gayatri Spivak nun fort unter einem ebenso schlichten wie vermutlich folgenreichen Titel. Europe, please welcome Gayatri Spivak.
You're in the back, and you can hear me, right? Okay. It is a great pleasure for me to be speaking in the name of George Mosse, fellow Midwesterner. I taught at Iowa for 12 years, and he was in Wisconsin, close enough. fellow Cornellian, my PhD is from Cornell, who was in the same struggle well before some of us began. And this is a joy. What I will say today will circulate around two of his statements that were important for us more than 20 years ago. I quote Mosse, economic and social revolution was not accompanied by sexual revolution. This is Mosse. And, again, assimilation always included a flight from a former identity. This one is something that we need to remember today when we think that Europe, in its whatever it thinks its outlines are, and the problem with what is called, and I will use this phrase over and over again, it's a bitter phrase, visible minorities. This is a phrase that's used now officially. So the problem with visible minorities, because of the non-access to upper class mobility, is covered over on both sides with talk of culture, which is a very strange word. I'm not going to discuss that, I'm just kind of saying this. This forgets what Mosse said in 85, assimilation always included a flight from a former identity. Darko Suvin says all immigration involves an emigration and so on. We need to keep these things in mind. So I've remembered, I didn't really go to a book to look these up because he was important enough for us that we thought of these two statements as important things to remember. I thank Klaus Schäpe for walking me, I wrote this, for walking me through the preliminaries of this visit, but today I will even say for pushing me in a wheelchair through the preliminaries and actualities of this visit with patience and care. And I give a remote thanks to my dear old friend Andreas Hüssen for having put up my name for you. I will now walk through the abstract I sent, which perhaps you haven't looked at, but nonetheless, when I wrote it, I was thinking about how this talk should shape up. I will move us through step by step. It has two main points. One is a desire for continentality. The extreme northwestern edge, if you really look at our continent, the island of Eurasia, it's a tiny little edge, and the imperial Europe is even a tiny edge of that one. So the desire for continentality, that's one of the points, and the other one is a desire for for mastership of interpellation, to be the master of hey you, which is what interpellation is. And I call you like that, when I was asking for the fountain pen, for example, I was calling you and you thought you were the right person. You were the right person. But that is the technique of, there's a complicity in interpellation. These days we've forgotten that. And complicity will be a very, very important point for me. It has been for a very long time. But I'm old, and I can therefore, first of all, I can't make too many new points. And second of all, the old points that remain with me, you should think of the fact that they have remained. They are worth repeating. So to an extent, that idea of complicity, not in a negative sense, but of being folded together. See, my friends Antonio Negri and Michael Hart, they talk about absolute subsumption, taking something from Marx. That's a product of digital idealism on the other side. My remarks are always, I would say, and I say this also to my very dear friend Etienne Balibar, I'm more of an activist, and so therefore I have to see the glass as half full. So I see this as being folded together, complicit in that sense, and I believe that in the acknowledgement of complicity is a stronger practice, rather than an us and theming, you bad, I good. This is why one of the problems with being called Ulrike, you knew that I had moved into neocolonial, but quite often I'm perceived as only the old-style so-called Poco who just points fingers at an essentialized colonizer. But that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about complicity. All right, so there are 2 points. One is the desire for continentality, and the other is the desire for the mastership of interpellation. Because I find it difficult to be interpellated as an other, capital O, reporting ontophenomenologically. What do they think? What is Europe in the eyes of others? That's an ontophenomenological question. You know, our style of asking a question is, what is it to do something? What is it to theorize? Not what is theory. So therefore, I begin by saying, you know, I work on cultural politics, not on being a native informant. So therefore, I'm looking at that is my very minor expertise. So that's what I'm doing. I'm reading with you. Okay. So this idea, the idea of being interpellated. Hey, you Gayatri Spivak, old but good post-colonialist, tell us about what the others are thinking about Europe. That's an ontophenomenological question, okay? Because I find it difficult to be interpellated as an other, reporting ontophenomenologically on others, there will be a good bit, as usual, about my own desire to choose self-interpellation. It's the same problem. You mentioned, can the subaltern speak? And you know, in that essay, which was really a beginning rather than an end, I'm sorry, I mean, it's a fine essay, but I'm sorry that I'm known most by something that I wrote 30 years ago, after which I changed a lot. But anyway, in it, there is a sentence I construct, which Judith Butler is the only one who knew how to catch up on that sentence. She's spoken in public about it. I chose a sentence because I said I knew nothing. And it was a sentence from, on the model of Freud's A Child is Being Beaten. I mentioned that. And my sentence was, white men are saving brown women from brown men. And Judith, like a good reader, went to A Child is Being Beaten, and A Child is Being Beaten about someone who's exceedingly narcissistic. And so that's what I was saying. Hey, watch it, go read what I'm talking about. I don't know anything about this damn thing. If I don't turn it into a sentence, I can't write, but I must write. And my sentence then was that white man. And what was I doing? I was asking Freud, a white guy, to save brown women, those women who were dying, from brown men, the bad Hindus. In fact, I was doing exactly what in that sentence, which many people have taken as a formula and thought that I was just pointing fingers at white guys. There was nothing against the British in that paper. It was all against the Hindus. It was not a post-colonial paper, it's a pre-colonial paper. So to that extent, my own desire to choose self-interpellation, which you must read as complicity with you, because you too, I'm saying that you folks are seeking self-interpellation as master of interpellation, you must read as complicity in the strong sense, folded together with you.